So today's the 11th of March. I've come back to Runnymede, to my cousin's farm, to stay and recover from the 3 days of chemo I had in hospital, which, funnily enough, I just realised is actually a lot more than I've ever had. With my R-CHOP cycle back in 2020, I had about 6 cycles of R-CHOP and 2 cycles of methotrexate. And the R-CHOP was generally, 6 to 8 hours during the day. And then with the methotrexate, it was 24 hours, but they kept you in hospital until you read out all the toxin of the methotrexate. So that time, yes, I was in hospital for about 3 days, 4 days, depending on how quickly my system peed it all out. That was just one drug for 24 hours. So I'm not so hard on myself this time, because this time I thought, geez, it's really affected me. I feel sickly in the chest, the stomach, I feel bloated, my lungs feel tight, my chest feels tight, I just feel generally unwell. Not being able to sleep, and I think that's probably the steroids I was on during the chemo. But then I realised that I've actually had 3 solid days of chemo straight. 8 hours on the first day, and then I swapped over to 24 hours of one drug, and then that was another 4 hours or 2 hours of another drug. So I can understand now why my body feels like it's buggered, because it's been bombarded. And it's basically different drugs. Apart from the first 8-hour session, it's rituximab, which is the R part of R-CHOP and RI. So I've had that before, so no issue. But it's the other drugs that have kind of got to me, having them pumped into my system for 3 days straight or 2 days straight. So anyway, I left my partner this morning. She was working from home today. There's an arrangement where she's helping her sister pay the mortgage of a new house while they alternate going overseas to China, because their mother had a stroke quite a few years ago. And because of her sister's belief, she's not really comfortable with me staying with my partner. So that's why, just to give you a bit of context, that's why I'm out here 3.5 hours away, north of the city, moving out of my van, but on my cousin's property. So I've got a stable location. I've got this rituximab, which is the R part of R-CHOP and RI. So I've had that before, so no issue. But it's the other drugs that have kind of got to me, having them pumped into my system for 3 days straight or 2 days straight. So anyway, other appointments before then, I've got an imaging, I think an angiogram to check my heart next week. I'm going to see my GP and that kind of thing. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update that I'm feeling a bit shit, but no complaints. My medicines have increased. They've given me tablets for antiviral tablets, antibacterial tablets, antifungal tablets for infections, and also nausea tablets if I need them, and also tablets to look after my kidneys, which I presume are the ones that's making me pee every hour. I had a success today. I had 2 poos. First one was a bit of a struggle, because I'd been constipated before I actually went into hospital. And then one of the side effects of the drugs is to make you constipated. And despite the fact that I had a laxative on the second day, it was only like today, 4 days after, or 2 days after I was discharged, that I had a go. And yeah, I think I was on that border of just pushing a little bit hard. Despite splitting my ass, I could have ruptured an aneurysm, because my ears were whistling. I was squeezing that hard just to get it going. But once the cork was out, it was fine. So I'm sure I'm full of shit, like always. So that'll come out in good time now, I hope, without so much effort and pain. So I guess on a serious note, I've been sort of reflecting a lot and thinking a lot, and I don't really know how serious it is this second time around with the lymphoma. Whether it's the same B cell that's transmuted to a T cell, it's still really both T cell in some form or another, but just the way the treatment kind of hits me compared to last time. I don't know if it's because I'm older or it's more potent, but I don't know what the future holds. So I'm trying to use this second time around, yay, for cancer to actually kick myself up the arse and try and achieve all those things that I've said in my earlier videos that I wanted to do. I did find out something not really looking forward to. It has to be done, but because the treatment plan is, if I haven't mentioned it before, is that they'll do 2 cycles of this ice, where it's 3 hours, 3 days in hospital, non-stop, 2 cycles, 3 weeks apart. Then I'll do a PET scan, and if it's clear, then I'll go on to doing a stem cell transplant transfusion with my bone marrow, but only if the PET scan's clear. If the PET scan still shows signs of lymphoma, they're going to give me a 3rd cycle of the ice, or the 3-day chemo. And I've also found out that in next week or so, they're going to put like a semi-permanent line, the main line, just to extract the stem cells, so they need a good flow to capture enough stem cells. And then I'm also going to use it to feed my chemo drugs, so I don't have to go through the vein in the arm all the time, every time I go. So apparently that gets attached to a vein going to my heart directly. So I've already got a pacemaker going to the heart, now I'll have that going to the heart. So I feel like I'm falling to pieces, but I'm still here, which is the main thing about cancer treatment, or any kind of health treatment, is to give a person time and feel better and comfortable. So, but yeah, I found out that the bone marrow transplant, or stem cell marrow transfusion, whatever they call it, is not like chemo. It's not going to be, do a day of it, then go home for a couple of days or a week and then come back. It's going to be constant. So it'll be, who knows, maybe 5 or 6 cycles, but it'll be within 3 weeks. So it'll be a 3-week stay in hospital while they do that side of it. So I'm thinking that might be a bit of a venture, an experience. But anyway, I'm feeling positive. I'm just feeling very tired. I did stop off at the cemetery on the way back. I didn't get out of the city until about 4 o'clock. I left at about 9:30 in the morning. I had to get some blood tests done at Peter Mac, and then I thought I'd take my time, because I wasn't feeling well, just to do a bit of shopping, fill up my fridge, fill up my cupboards, so I don't have to keep going into town or the nearest shopping centre, which is like an hour drive away, once a week, because I think I'm going to be crashing pretty soon. So I'll catch up on some sleep and rest over the next few days, because I realise my body's not as strong as it was. Like, I know I'm overweight and all that, but I can just tell the difference that this chemo cycle's really hit me. And everyone's different in that respect anyway. So I lost track of what I was going to say. So chemo brain started already. Yeah, that's right. I went to the cemetery on the way home, because as I was driving, I saw, there's some nice pinkish clouds over there. Maybe, to hell with it, I'll go over and set up my pocket 3 at my family's graves, and maybe I can get a nice sunset and while I'm running around flying my drone. And then I got there and the clouds were in, and I just wasn't feeling good. So I just got my pocket 3 out and my 1X4 down the road a bit, just to sort of video the scene. But the reason I mentioned the cemetery and the reason why I stopped there is that tomorrow, the 12th of March, is actually the anniversary of the car accident that my whole family was in, including myself, that ended up killing my sister instantly, and then my dad dying 3 hours later on the hospital table. So for me, it's a significant mark. I can't really calculate the years. It was in 1979. But with everything going on, like last week, I went up to spend a week with my partner, which I may have mentioned before, because I had a couple of different appointments, a cardiology appointment, and also I was meant to see the anaesthetist, because they were going to do the keyhole surgery at Peter Mac. So I'd asked if I could stay for that week, and then that all changed. And then I got a day's notice about Thursday about going in for chemo. So that kind of threw me out a bit. But yeah, I'm glad I'm back today. It's another reality check, because I'm in the van again, sleeping, eating, living, which isn't a big deal, but I lived in the smaller van for 3 years, so I don't know. I'm trying not to let it get me down. It shouldn't get me down, but then I think at my age, almost 56 this year, and what have I got to show for it? But then, does it really matter? You know, I guess that's one of the things I'm slowly starting to realise, is that maybe I should, instead of thinking I should be perfect at this, I should be better at this, maybe just enjoy the day. But anyway, I'm going off all over the place. I'm obviously tired, but tomorrow is a trial to March, and I'll probably go to the cemetery tomorrow and pay my respects, talk to them, take some photos if it's a nice day. But I did have a strange thought a few days ago that it's interesting when I just realised that there was a 12th of March coming up, that wouldn't it be funny if I ended up dying on the day that we had the car accident because of cancer. But it's not going to happen, but it's just that stupid thought you have. And Joe, you okay, buddy? You want to come and say hello? Come on. I'll come and get you, Joe. Probably have to refrain him. But this is Joe. See, we usually have a pastime where we'll play fight and he'll scratch me and that kind of thing, but I've got to be careful now because my immune system's low. I've got to take white cell injections daily, starting from tomorrow. So if he scratches me, I'm more than likely to get an infection. So I've had to sort of hold back by the way I play with you, hey? But you've had a good day, long day. He was a rescue cat in a shelter found on the streets. He was in like a small box at a shelter for 3 months before I found him. Suffered anxiety and all that, so had him now for 6 months. Yeah? And it's taken you this long just to let me hold you for this long. But otherwise he keeps to himself, don't you? Yeah? Okay, that's it. Walk in front of the camera. Show your big ass. He's going back to his spot in the fridge. Going back to his spot in the front seat. You okay, Joe? So anyway, I'm tired. I'm rambling. I'll try and do some editing. Like, I'm guessing there's not a lot of people actually caring or watching a lot of my videos, but the main thing for me is that it's a tool. It's something that I can record my thoughts. I don't really care if anyone watches them. It'll be nice. But it's a tool to sort of get me back into being creative, so that whatever happens now with this cancer treatment, with lymphoma returning, I don't know the prognosis. I don't know whether I'll be cured. I don't know whether I've got 6 months. I don't have a timeline, but I'm using this video log mainly as a tool to share something, share my experience, but the main thing is to get me back into the creative flow so that I can achieve some of those projects or show some of the time lapses I've been capturing for 10 years that are still sitting on the hard drives. I haven't looked at them since. Because the world's a beautiful place, and I've been blessed enough to, 1 out of 10 attempts to capture something decent. And I just want to share the beauty of the world, the beauty of God. It's good to have a reason, a purpose, and I guess that's what I'm giving myself. Anyway, take care, everyone. We'll see what happens from here.